Hello everybody. Today we are going to practice our drawing skills. This is an elementary art lesson and we are going to be introducing basic perspective techniques, and we are inspired by an artist. Her name is Heather Galler and she is a folk artist from America, and this is going to be our drawing for today. So if you guys could get out a piece of paper and a pencil, remember to draw nice and light when you're first drawing off in case you have any adjustments you need to make. I'm going to be using a Sharpie marker just so that you can see it, but follow along with me and draw nice and light with your pencil, okay? So to begin our drawing, we're going to start with a line towards the top of the page, about a big pinch from the top of the page. And we're going to draw the horizon line on the top of the hill, which is going to be a nice little rolling hill here. So it's going to come over like this, dip down a little bit, and then come up like this, okay? All right, so after that, we want to put our barn in over here on this side. And our barn is very close to a rectangle shape. Now I'm saying it's very close because it's not exactly, because with the hill in the way, it does kind of make this bottom line curve a little bit, but it's close to a rectangle shape right here. And then we're going to put another little rectangle shape right here like this, all right? And then we are going to add a triangle on top of this area right here, all right? So after that, we're going to make a line that's what we call parallel to this line right there. That means side by side, and it's going to extend to about right here, fall short of the other line right here, and connects. We make our roof line right here. Now up here in the triangle, we're going to add a little bitty door, and I'll explain to you about what that is. So when farmers have barns, they sometimes have a little window up at the top. That way when they store their hay or whatever in the top loft area, they can easily toss it down to the truck underneath without having to lug it down. So that's what that little window's for. And now I'm going to add some barn doors to my sides of my barn. So again, little triangle, and we're going to add an X from corner to corner, and that. And we're going to do another barn door over here on this side. Again, an X from corner to corner. Okay, like that. All right, and then right beside the barn, we're going to create what is called a silo. And to create this, we're going to make a tall rectangle shape like that. And then we're going to add a cap on it like this. Now, in real life, this will be more like a cylinder round shape, but just for drawing purposes, since it's flat, it's going to be a rectangle shape, okay? Now we're going to skip on over to the beginning of our hill right here, and we're going to draw 3 trunks for our 3 trees. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Now the tops of our trees are going to be either circular or oval shape. So we're going to add those in now. 1. Now the second one's going to, this one's going to overlap our second one. That means this one's going to be behind it right here. So we're not going to see the complete shape right there. See how it overlaps? And then our third one will be right here, and that'll kind of overlap too. And we will add some lines to our tree trunks because that's the way Heather Galler does hers. In the first one, we're going to do some typical normal limbs inside like this. Just some little lines for the limbs. The second one, we're going to do what Heather Galler traditionally does in a lot of her paintings, and we're going to make some curly branches. And so we're going to come up and do a curl, and then come to the side and do a curl, and the side and do a curl, and then 2 more on this side, like that. And then this last one we'll just leave plain. Now this area over here, we're going to put a little sunrise or sunset. So we're going to start with like a half circle, and then we're going to copycat that line, and then we're going to skip out and copycat that line a little farther out. If you bump into your tree, just skip over your tree, and then we'll add some lines here for the rays. And if you have room, we can put another tree over here or part of a tree as well. Okay. All right. So we got the top of our picture done. We're going to start adding in our fields, and this is going to be where our beginning perspective comes in. If you notice, when we look at that picture that I showed you before, these fields are beginning perspective, and that's because this area up here, does it look smaller or bigger than this area down here? It looks smaller, right? See, even the circles look smaller than the ones down here, even though there's still just 4, right? So the reason we do that is because we want to give the illusion of perspective. That means that things in the background look farther away than things that are in the foreground, which is where we would be looking closer up. We'd be standing there, right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start drawing some lines. This one's going to go right off the page. Now, every section or every field that we draw, we're going to make it smaller at the top and come out longer or wider at the bottom, so that we give that representation of perspective, that this is farther away than this down here, right? So here we go. We're going to start right about right here and fan out this way. Right about here, fan out this way. Right about here and fan out this way. Right about here and fan out this way. And right about here and fan out that way. Okay? See how these look bigger towards the bottom, and that makes that look like it's more in the distance right there. And it doesn't matter which direction your lines go, only that this is smaller up here and bigger down here. Okay? All right, so the next thing we want to do is we are going to add patterns to each section, and you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You can put different patterns, but what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the space of these fields, and we're going to do the same thing, and get bigger and bigger as we go down, so that adds to the illusion of perspective that we're trying to achieve. Okay, so this first one I'm just going to put a line, diagonal line. The second one I'm going to add some circles. 1, 2, 3. And if you want to do the same thing I'm doing, you can. If you want to do something different, you can too, okay? All right, then I'm going to put a line, and then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. And see, they're getting a little bit bigger. And a line. We're just going to create a pattern, a repeating pattern. That's going to kind of go off the page a little bit. And then a line, and then 1, 2. Now see, I don't have very much room. You can just imagine that this is coming out this way, right? And then a line, and 1. We're getting bigger each time. Okay, now there's only room for 2 down here. All right, so the next section, I think I'll just do some wavy lines. And as I get farther down, I'm just going to kind of spread those out gradually, like that. See how the space between them is getting bigger and bigger? That adds to that illusion of perspective that we're trying to achieve. All right, now the next one, I'm just going to do some crisscrosses. So I'm going to start in this corner right here and do a diagonal line this way. And then I come down. And then I'm going to get a little farther apart each time. Like that. And then I come up here to this corner right here, and I'm going to meet this corner with this corner. So I'm going to crisscross it like this. And this corner to this corner. This corner to this corner. And this corner off the page, because you don't see that bottom part, okay? All right, so the next one, I'm just going to do some simple diagonals. So again, I'm going to start from the corner. And I gradually make my diagonal lines a little farther apart. Okay, just like that. Okay, this one next, on this one, I'm going to just do some straight lines across. And again, spacing that out a little bit more each time. All right. And then this last one, I think I'll just put some circles in it. But you could put whatever you want. You could put hearts, or you could put squares. You could put waves. You could put triangles, whatever you want. Okay. All right. So there we go. We are all done with our drawing. That was pretty easy. So now we're going to go to the coloring portion of our assignment, and I have this one already started. And my markers are over here, so let me grab those real quick. And you can choose whichever colors you want in these sections, but also too, let me take this down real quick. Also too, on this one with the markers, I chose to do complementary colors. If you guys remember, complementary colors are the opposite of each other on the color wheel, and that just adds to making it pop more. See how the purple and the yellow really pop, the orange and the blue really pop, and the red and the green. So I'm just going to continue on with that one, but like I said, you can do whichever colors you want, just 2 colors, or even more if it works out with what you've drawn there, that's fine. So I think I will do the green and the red again. So when you're markering, this is the way you do it to make it nice and neat. Let's practice our marker skills. You're going to outline the area that you're going to color like this on the inside, right? And then you're going to lay down lines, and you can lay down lines either up and down or side to side, but you can use the side of your marker instead of the tip so that you can make a thicker line, and that'll get you finished quicker. So this one I'm just going to do side to side. So I'm just going to lay down lines like that, and then I'm going to come over here and do the next one. I'm going to skip over. Again, you outline the area you want to color, and you don't have to use markers if you have paints or some other materials at home. You can also experiment with those too. So again, we're going to lay down lines side by side. See how nice and neat that makes it? And when you outline it first, that gives your color something to bump into, so it has a nice even edge. You can just kind of go over that if you need to, okay? All right, so let's pretend I did all the greens, and then I would come in with my reds and do the same thing. Now, like I said, I'm using complementary colors here, but you can use whatever colors you want. If you want to make it purple and pink, that's fine. Or if you want to make it blue and green, that's up to you. Or you could do all cool colors, which if you remember, cool colors are the colors that look like they'd be cool to touch. So blues and purples. And if you want to do all warm colors, you could do oranges and yellows and reds. So totally up to you. You could do analogous colors, which analogous colors are any 3 colors that are side by side on the color wheel. So if you want to look up a color wheel and do one that's all analogous colors, that would be cool too. So just make a decision on what your goal is. And so